Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about Mini AOC and the controversy that's surrounding her, why she had to delete all of her social media accounts. Before we get into that, make sure you subscribe so you can always stay informed and get the sources I provide down below. So basically, Mini AOC, if you haven't heard of her, is this 8-year-old girl, and she has a parody account of the real Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So she had a Twitter account with something like 83,000 followers, which is pretty impressive. I wish I had even a small fraction of that. But because of some things that we're going to talk about today, she was essentially forced to delete her account for her own safety. So first we're going to watch a short clip about Mini AOC. So this is a video basically that Mini AOC made making fun of the real AOC because of the way that she acted and didn't really know what a garbage disposal was when she first saw one at the beginning of this year. So here's this clip.
Thank you to my 20,000 new followers on Twitter. Like, I had 40,000 followers, but OMG, the government took half. Isn't socialism so amazing? Well, gotta go. It's going to take forever to put all the garbage in the disposal. See you soon!
So those are basically the types of things that she does. Again, she's only 8. She's not doing anything, extravagant or anything really controversial, I think, but the Daily Dot tends to disagree. So, according to the Daily Dot, her most recent tweet was too controversial, and so because of that, she received pushback and eventually deleted her account. So you might ask, well, what is this tweet? Before we get into what she did, we need to look at the original tweet that she was making fun of. So here we have the real AOC, and these images were going viral about 2 weeks ago or so you've probably seen them before. But it's basically AOC being really emotional and really upset while she's supposedly looking at a border or a detention center where they're holding children and supposedly mistreating them. So this is why AOC looks so upset. Now, these images themselves are pretty controversial because a few days afterwards, if you kind of pan out, it kind of looks like she's just looking at an empty parking lot. And I don't want to get into that too much. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. But because of that, a lot of people were essentially making fun of AOC for these things. And Mini AOC did the same thing. So she released these photos of her looking, similar in similar positions, but she's making fun of her and saying that the park is closed, and so because of that, she's, pretending to be sad, just like a lot of people say the real AOC was pretending to be sad. So this is the tweet that is so controversial, according to the Daily Dot, that she received death threats for. Now, I just kind of want to read what they say here in the Daily Dot. It says right here, the Mini AOC tweet that spurned so much ire chose to poke fun at the suffering of the children being held at such complexes. So Daily Dot is taking this 8-year-old's video and saying that she wasn't making fun of AOC. No, she was making fun of the immigrant children who are being detained and held in suffering at these complexes. So first off, that's just a very bad way to write it because she's an 8-year-old making fun of a congresswoman, not making fun of the children. So it seems to me that Daily Dot is taking her tweet as a justification for why she should have to delete her social media accounts. So now I want to jump over to an article from Newsweek and just read a quote from her stepfather on why they actually did decide to delete all of these accounts. So he says, "The left's harassment and death threats have gone too far for our family. We have been getting calls on our personal phone numbers. For our safety and for our child's safety, we deleted all Mini AOC's accounts." So the stepfather says that they've gotten death threats and that the threats they get are increasingly personal, dark, and dangerous, and they're essentially being doxxed because it's at their home address and their home phone numbers. Now there is one thing we need to acknowledge, and it's unfortunate that's the way it is, but it just is. If you are a public official or if you are publicly known here in the United States, chances are you're going to receive some form of hate, whether it's through hate mail or death threats, and it really sucks. That's just what it means to be a public official or to be publicly known. And I wish that weren't the case, but that's what it is. However, I still think there's a distinction between being a public figure, being an adult, versus being an 8-year-old child who is only public because you're making fun of a more public figure. We should hopefully always agree that death threats are never acceptable, But I think we can also agree that it's somehow even worse when you direct death threats at an 8-year-old. So I'm sorry to leave on such a sad note, but this is just what I wanted to cover today. So if you've made it this far and you like the content that I do generally, please like, comment, and share. And if you haven't already subscribed, just basically let YouTube know that you appreciate what I've been doing and you appreciate this content. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.